you who Arsenal's gonna hit to start with and what will obviously happen into the mix. So smash the like button and smash the like button close to 200 times and tell us who will win today. Will it be Arsenal? Or it will be Girona? Or it will be a draw? Right? So please, raise up to the occasion, join the live chat, and let's get talking. That side, Rokani David is here to see to it that he really takes this to the level that you guys want it to be. Arsenal, Mikel Arteta has gone ahead to name his starting 11 for his first preseason game as he gets into a season to defend the Premier League. I tell you, Tzolis has started given his first, I repeat, given his first, what can we call it? He has been given his Arsenal debut, but that is something that is not official. It's not an official debut for the club of Arsenal. So here we come to obviously break this down to the fullest and see to it that all really goes well as planned. And I see people flocking in here to watch this video. I love you all, and let's get into this confirmed starting 11 for the club of Arsenal. Obviously, Arsenal has the following, and they do have Kepa Arrizabalaga. I thought Melia would come in through, but Ben White comes in through, Mosquera, Hincapié, Riccardo Carafiori, Lewis Kelly, Kai Havertz, Waneri, Dorman, Tzolis, and Victor Gyökeres. On the bench, Melia, Reinson, Jesus, Fabio Vieira, Nelson, Agustin, Clark, Copley, Hamens Onus. There is Ibrahim, Julien, Kabia, Oguneke, O'Neill, and Salmon. That is the bench for the club of Arsenal that Mikel Arteta has gonna hit to name into this particular encounter of the game. So that's how Arsenal is lining up that side. And we come here in peace to see to it that we bring you that confirmed starting 11 for the club of Arsenal, right? From there, we obviously head into the formation we believe that this man is obviously going to be going in for. And remember, when I really did this story as the match preview, I said that the club of Arsenal is obviously going to come up and really start with Melia, but they're going to have to bring Kepa Arrizabalaga. But I think I've only got one player wrong. And guess who is that? I think two. Kepa Arrizabalaga and Victor Gyökeres, right? I think those are the players that I've gotten wrong onto this. But all in all, it's going on well as planned. And I tell you, it's really good and getting good and better in here onto a beautiful channel known as the Rokani Media Football. Arsenal taking on what we call Girona. And if you've been watching, you obviously understand that it's going to be Kepa Arrizabalaga in goal, one. Right back, it's going to be Benjamin White, right? So if it's going to be Benjamin White as the right back, then that means the left back is going to be Riccardo Carafiori, right? Then in the central defense, it's going to be Hincapié and Mosquera partnering up to obviously do the needful. As Mosquera play as a right-sided centre-back and Hincapié play as a left-sided centre-back. We get to the midfield, Lewis Kelly patrolling the single pivot, as I told you in the match preview, alongside Kai Havertz and Ethan Nwaneri to come up and obviously beef up the attack. Meaning that a single pivot and 2/8 is what the guy has gone ahead to go in for. But you can as well simplify it and say the club of Arsenal has gone in for Kai Havertz as a number 8 and a player known as Ethan Nwaneri to obviously come in through and feature as a 10 in that particular build-up for the club of Arsenal. Max Dorman, the magician, right forward. And left forward, Tzolis. Leading the line is going to be Victor Gyökeres. Now, let me talk about Victor Gyökeres coming in through and obviously leading the line. The manager of Arsenal has known it that Gyökeres went ahead to obviously offer him some good goals. You know, I think Gyökeres had 21 goals, right? In the season for the club of Arsenal, debut season, and he never had a preseason, right? So he had 5 goals in the Champions League, 14 goals in the Premier League, 1 goal in the FL Cup, and I think the other one came in through in the FA Cup. That is Gyökeres for you. And he knows to it that if he came and performed at that level without getting what we call a good preseason, what if he gets a good preseason with the club of Arsenal? Do you know what happens? He'll obviously come out and obviously score those goals to the fullest. So that's exactly what you're really having in through from the man, Mikel Arteta, making a decision to obviously start a player known as Gyökeres immediately. By the way, I had chosen Jesus to start, but the manager is like, Jesus is out of my plans, and the man in my plans is none other than Victor Gyökeres, and he has gone ahead to obviously play him because he wants him to hit the ground running on the 16th. And where does a striker get confidence from? The striker always gets confidence from this preseason. If today he gets a hat-trick in, you understand, and in their next fixture, he comes in through and obviously puts in a very huge shift. And let me see, Arsenal's next fixture is obviously going to be against who? They're going to be playing against Real Betis. That is on Wednesday, you know. That is on the 5th. On the 5th of Wednesday, on the 5th of August, they're going to play against Real Betis. If he puts in a hat-trick today, scores 2 goals against Real Betis, bangs in big at the Emirates against Dortmund and then against Como, that means by the time he faces Man City on the 16th of August, he will be ready to go and have gone ahead obviously sharpen. By the time the Premier League starts, he'll obviously start on Coventry and really score those beautiful goals for the club of Arsenal. And what Arsenal need this season is to see goals going in through, because for the previous 3-4 seasons, Arsenal have shown us that their central defense is really watertight. Even if they don't have Big Gabi, even if they don't have Saliba, Mosquera, Ricardo Carafiori and Hincapie, plus Julian Timber can get the job done and dusted. So the manager is like, let me work onto the forward line. Let me work on the forward. That's why Tzolis has started with Gyökeres. He's trying to see how these two can mend up and see Tzolis creating for the man known as Victor Gyökeres and see to it that he's building something very important into that side of Arsenal. So I'm really excited to see how these two will obviously combine up and see whether it will obviously work out well, like how the manager of Arsenal is thinking about it. But I now understand his image and picture of why he has gone ahead to go in for a man known as Tzolis. But before I obviously continue to break through how everyone is going to be looking into that team of Arsenal and why the manager has chosen him ahead of the other, allow me get into the team of Girona and really let you know who you people are obviously going to be versing in this particular encounter, right? Alineação, that is the starting 11. They do have Gazaniga in goal. They're having a now right back, left back. Or they do have David Lopez. They do have Donny van der Beek, Fran Bertrand, Francis. They do have Brian Gill, Van Het, Alex Moreno playing as the left back, Las and Minsu in there for you. So Donny van der Beek is the most sounding name in this team known as Girona. And the other one is Alex Moreno, because Alex Moreno was at Aston Villa, if at all I'm not mistaken. Was he at Aston Villa or was at Liverpool? So, Alex Moreno is the name that you need to obviously come up and really talk about in this particular encounter. You understand? So, we are here to let you know that that's how Girona is obviously going to be lining up tonight. Arsenal going ahead to obviously exercise its energy to see to it that they really put this team to a beating of their lives. You understand? Now, let's get to the team of Arsenal. Tzolis, his role, primary role today, is to obviously create for a player known as The primary role for Tzolis is to obviously create something special for a guy known as Gyökeres. We need to see a winger of Arsenal, deliberately looking out for their number 9, and that is Victor Gyökeres. That is it. So today is when we are going to see how Tzolis comes in through to do the needful and really take Arsenal to the next level. Now, leaving Tzolis aside, we do talk about a player called Miles Lewis Skelly. Very important. Very important for Miles Lewis Skelly. Now, Miles Lewis Skelly knows what is happening at the team of Arsenal. Remember, due to the lack of playing time last season, there were links that he wants to leave. Manchester United wanted to go in for Miles Lewis Skelly. And I think they had scouted him very well, and they knew to it that he's a multifunctional player who could improve their midfield and take it to the next level, right? And that is Man United for you. Then, from there, the midfield had very many injuries, and now the manager opted for Lewis Skelly to come through and really do the needful. With Zubimendi getting naked in the last quarter of the season, that is really very much important for any team if they want to lift a trophy. The manager was like, I need more energy in the midfield. And it was like, Miles Lewis Skelly, Declan Rice, come and do the job with Odegaard, all Eberechi is ahead of you. And Arsenal looked good in that midfield. Now, with Miles Lewis Skelly knowing that hours from now, the deal of Bruno Guimaraes is obviously going to be to the level of here we go. And by Monday, this guy might be in the camp of Arsenal in Spain. That really speaks volumes. He has been granted a chance, and he needs to prove to Mikel Arteta that he deserves a spot in his team in that midfield. Because this time round, Arsenal is going to be having Zubimendi, Guimaraes, Declan Rice, Miles Lewis Skelly, and Mikel Merino. You've heard that very well. So, if that's the case, then Miles Lewis Skelly needs to really double or triple his efforts. Getting into that team is obviously going to be hard, especially getting a starting spot. I can authoritatively say he missed out on the World Cup because of him not really putting in a very huge shift in the last half of the season. That is it. From January to May, he never operated very well. Nico O'Reilly really had a very good season. And if he was playing as a left back at Arsenal, in maybe those last games of the season, maybe Tuchel would have gone ahead to think about him ahead of Nico O'Reilly. But guess what? He was playing the midfield, and there is no way Tuchel would have gone ahead to obviously think of him in the midfield. Though I do believe that if this season he goes ahead to execute very well, he'll be one of those players that Tuchel will really like in that midfield, because he has attributes of a midfielder that Thomas Tuchel will like in his team. Now, this game of Girona, we need to see how he really controls and really goes ahead to obviously do the needful in that midfield. And I just can't wait to see exactly how this guy will treat himself. But I'm excited. I'm excited for Miles Lewis Skelly, because in the very tough games of the season, he really put out a very, 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 very huge shift in there for you. And I just loved the work and everything he put out. So for me here, onto the side of the Rokani Media Football, I'm just excited for this game. I don't know whether you guys are really as excited as me in this particular encounter. The other player that is worth a mention or a nod of a talk about is Max Doman. Max Doman is a very good player, no doubt about it. And if at all you doubt how good he is, football is not meant for you. Very good player. And now, last season, he had cameos in the games of Arsenal, right? And now, this is a season for him to establish himself, because the manager has come up and obviously said, you understand? The manager has come up and said that you are into this game. No Saka, no Noni Madueke. Go ahead and really show us exactly what you're going to bring on the table of Arsenal. Now, what do you do if at all you are that guy called Max Dorman? You go out and do exactly what the manager best expects from you. I'm one of those who believe that Saka's career and Noni Madueke's career at Arsenal are really in danger if at all Max Dorman's development trajectory goes on as planned. Why? He offers something different that Saka and Noni Madueke cannot offer to the club of Arsenal. That is it. Let's all admit. He offers something different that Saka and Noni Madueke combined can't offer. Because of his skill set, he can take off players and he can easily go ahead to see to it that he puts in a very huge shift in there altogether. So this is the guy we are talking about. And I think he's 16. I think he has gone ahead to turn 16 now. Very young. But I tell you what, he has a lot to do with this season coming in through. I tell you, this should be his breakthrough season into the team of Arsenal. We want to see him getting to the discussion of whether he deserves to start or not, because he has put out enough evidence in the previous season that he deserves to be on the bench, at least to come up and obviously change games. With Bukayo Saka and Noni Madueke playing very many games and obviously fatigue catching up on them, you don't expect them to obviously start off a season on a high. And in these games, this is where this young man has to come and establish himself as the right forward for the club of Arsenal. I tell you, if he performs very well in these pre-seasons, don't be shocked when in the game of Man City versus Arsenal, Community Shield on the 16th of this month, when he's the starting right forward. Even in the game of Coventry, that's going to be played the 21st of August. Don't be surprised when Max Dorman is the man starting as the right forward for the club of Arsenal. And he has the following games to prove himself. The game of Girona, the game of Rio Betis, and the game of Dortmund. And I think the game of Como, because Saka are returning around 9th, 10th at the club of Arsenal, meaning that him and Noni Madueke won't be in better shape to obviously start these games. They might be coming off the bench. So what does that mean? It means that Max Dorman has the ball in his court and he has to come up and prove to Mikel Arteta that I am ready to take on this mantle. You understand? So please, I'm just excited at what is obviously going to be happening at the club of Arsenal, and I don't know how excited you are, you my people, because that is where we are heading to. And Max Dorman needs to put out a statement performance in these games to see to it that he puts in a very huge shift. And he can be ahead of these people. Come on today, show us what you are made of. We will respect you, and we will obviously come on and really take everything to your levels. That is it. And that's the message I can obviously send to this guy. Go out in here, enjoy yourself, and let the world know that you are the new right forward for the club of Arsenal. Because if he puts out enough evidence during the preseason, everyone will be like, throw onto Max Dorman. Throw onto Max Dorman. You understand? So, that is really great. The other player that we have to obviously come and really talk about is Tzolis. Tzolis signed in from Belgium Club Brugge, coming in through to join the club of Arsenal. Very impressive. And what a career for him so far. Tzolis needs to understand the following, that he is not the first choice left forward for the club of Arsenal. That is it. But there is a chance for him to obviously put out a statement in this summer, in this preseason. With Arsenal looking out for Vinicius Jr., what crosses in your mind if I told you are Tzolis? What crosses in your mind if I told you are Tzolis? I think what crosses in my mind if I told him Tzolis is, one, I'm in total trouble because even Gabriel Martinelli has not gone ahead to be moved on. Meaning that I'm going to be fighting two players to get into the starting 11. You get? So he needs to put out immediate performances with great end ball, with great end products to his game. That's how he'll get into this particular moment and obviously get what he wants. That is it. Because if Vini comes in through when you haven't gone ahead to establish yourself, you are going to be playing under huge pressure. You understand? And when you play alongside huge pressure, you know what happens. You don't deliver. That is it. You don't deliver at all. So, for Tzolis, he needs to come up and really put in a very huge shift, as expected. You understand? In these games. Because you never know, by the time he plays his next game against Real Betis, Arsenal might have gone ahead to obviously bring in Vinicius Jr. because this coming week is really very important for the deal of Vinicius Jr. That is it. So, this is that one game you have to put out and really put in performances that are really going to be top class. And every Arsenal fan has to be excited about you. Show us how direct you are because you told us you're a direct player. Put in your directness. Put in crosses for Gyökeres and let Gyökeres just miss out on his own and not us coming in through to blame you that you never obviously went ahead to feed him well. So, with Ben White telling us that you've been the best player in training, this is the game to show us that you are indeed the best player in the training sessions for the side of Arsenal. So, Tzolis has to show us exactly what he's all about. The other player that has to show us what he's all about goes by names of Ethan Nwaneri. Now, for Ethan Nwaneri, he's not going to show us what he's all about to stay at Arsenal because I don't think that there are plans of him staying at Arsenal. There are teams knocking at the door of Arsenal to obviously sign this player. I've gone ahead to see AC Milan. I've gone ahead to see Borussia Dortmund and some Premier League sides. Right? So, if you are Ethan Nwaneri, this is a game you have to come out and obviously show the world that you are indeed what we thought you are going to be. That is it. Come up, show the world what you are all about. Simple. And then you might see big clubs coming in for you because I would rather see Ethan Nwaneri stay in the Premier League other than going to that side. Other than going to what is it called? Other than going to the side is called what? AC Milan. If he goes to Borussia Dortmund, there are players that Borussia Dortmund has gone ahead to put to the next level. For example, Jude Bellingham is one of the examples that you can come up and obviously speak about. So, I do believe that it's time for him to showcase exactly what he's made of, right? Then the other players, I think they've already proven themselves. White, way out. Mosquera, proven. Hinkapie, proven. That's why Arsenal went ahead to make his deal permanent. Then Hinkapie, proven. Carafiori, proven. Kai Havertz, proven. Gyökeres, proven. The bench, we'll wait and see how the manager will obviously go ahead and obviously put on the players of the bench. But I think it's high time we saw these players take shape that I'm going to talk about. And we wait to see what they put out, whether they put out enough evidence to take us to where we deserve to be. Then Ram says, let's go Arsenal. You think Ethan Nwaneri should stay or go on loan? I think they should loan him by this time in the Premier League. I don't want to see him being loaned into any other league. I would like to see him loaned into the Premier League. Then MC12 God said stay. Richie says not sure he'll get enough minutes. Hopefully I'm wrong. Mokisa says 2-0 for the club of Arsenal, 3-1 for the club of Arsenal. That's my prediction. Set Tuba Hassan, Arsenal will win versus Girona. Obviously this is an Arsenal win. Habubuya, I am a Nigerian, please. Which channel can show the game? Why should I come and lie to you? We are not going to be showing the game here. That is it. I'm not an official broadcaster for this game, but go to the website of Arsenal, pay out, and you'll obviously watch that beautiful game of football. That is it. So, Arsenal comes into this game of football as defending champions for the Premier League. Champions League finalists, and they need to impose that onto this game. Go out there, show them that you are Arsenal, and really win this beautiful game of football. After winning it, the rest will be history, and everyone will be very, very much okay with you. So we wait to see how things really pan out for this particular game. But Arsenal is doing the needful and really putting in a very huge shift into this beautiful game of football. And in the next 3 minutes, this game of football will be starting officially. But people have gone ahead to obviously vote or really go ahead and really put in a very huge shift. But I want to let you know that we obviously coming at you and see how things really happen. Arsenal must win. That is Katudinireth, thank you. Madrid says Arsenal win. Batala Madrid. I see Madrid. Madrid has drawn with Fiorentina. Not so? Madrid has drawn with Fiorentina 2-2 in the game that has just gone ahead to be played. And to make it worse, Madrid led by 2-0. And guess what happened? Fiorentina pulled 2 back. You understand? So, the other point that I had to talk about that I had forgotten. Today, Shealesi for Man United has come up and obviously scored a brace. Has gone ahead to obviously do a very beautiful trickery to give United a penalty to level up with Atletico Madrid. You understand? He's 19 years of age and he might get in more playing time this season at Man United than Max Dorman. Max Dorman is 16 years of age, and turning 17 this year, meaning that they do have a 2-year difference. Now, why is this very important for Max Dorman? Max Dorman has to come up and really put in a very huge shift. That is it. And what is the shift? The shift is all about Max Dorman coming up and really perform. When he puts out this performance, the manager will obviously trust him in the coming games. He's a very good player. No one doubts the talent of this guy. He's multi-talented and he takes off players well. The referee for Arsenal is a lady. Oh, I like her butt. That is it. I like her butt and she's well shaped. So I think they should get us more female referees in here for you. And the other time I saw Man United going ahead to play into that game of football against Rosenborg, and they really put out a very huge assistant referee as a linesman, and I was like, oh, she was really looking beautiful there for you. So Arsenal has gone in for a 4-3-3 system. So a 4-1-2-3. That's the system. Kai Havertz and Ethan Nwaneri are playing as 2 number 10s. You understand? Dorman, Gyökeres, Tzolis leading the line. I've just gone ahead to see this formation. We wait on how this game of football will obviously end. Asimwe Ruhereza says Arsenal forever. Let me end the poll and see how you guys have gone ahead to vote. And the game of football is going ahead to start, by the way. It's on. Arsenal 94% win. Girona 4% win, and the draw 2%. So, the game is on. Arsenal, known in their usual red jersey. They are obviously in this, is it the black jersey? And they are trying to attack left, right, and center. And as we speak, this is Kai Havertz with a Trivela to get in Benjamin White. Benjamin White finds Max Dorman, trying to obviously do the trickery, and is going to have to play the ball back to find Miles Lewis-Kelly and Ethan Nwaneri. 2 interpasses, and then they get back that ball to Hinkapie. So that's how things are really happening outside there. Arsenal taking on Girona, big game, big fixture, and we await to see how things really pan out into the mix. So thank you very much for watching through. Rokani David is my name. I know many of you think I'm obviously going to be broadcasting the game. That's a lie, because the number is really increasing, and thank you for doing the needful. But let's see, we are having 200 people watching live, and only 31 people have gone ahead, obviously smash the like button. Smash the like button, guys, to 200 likes. Do the needful. Smash the like button to 200 likes in there for you. So please, 161 people watching in. Thank you, but smash the like button and see to it that we get this to the next level. Arsenal trying to attack, spreading the ball to find Max Dorman. Well defended by Moreno, and obviously it's a free kick for Girona as Arsenal is going to hit to commit a foul. Then I'm having Dol Garcia, Girona for exercise and never. I haven't gone ahead to understand what you're telling me. Then Aria says Arsenal will win. I've also gone ahead to call in for an Arsenal win. That is it. So guys, let's enjoy this. And I'm not obviously going to be really doing this watch along because I have a story of Nogard to record. Nogard has obviously gone ahead to really leave Arsenal and go to Everton. That is it. So Arsenal is trying to attack. And this is Ethan Waneri. He finds Kai Havertz. Kai Havertz into the mixer. Well kicked out by Girona. Mosquera. Oh, bad pass. Mosquera was trying to find out Ben White into the mix, but it didn't go on well as planned. So that's exactly what you're really having in here. But please smash the like button close to 200 people and allow me put this to the end right now because we'll be returning with a match reaction after the game. Let me watch the game, pay a lot of attention to detail to it, and then when it's done,